Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments along with yours in the chat. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys. Before we get into any of the topics, I always got to bring in the leadoff batter, and today it is Avatar. Avatar, haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Glad you're back in the chat. I know things have been hectic with everybody around and stuff like that, but Avatar says, "What's up, Broncos country and 2023 NBA champs, Nuggets Nation?" Absolutely, absolutely. Avatar, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for being batting leadoff. And like I said, before I get into the topics, I do want to give a huge shout out to San Diego State University. I'm not really big into basketball, but March Madness is something that I enjoy. And because I grew up in San Diego County, and my nephew, Bobby, who went there to San Diego State, I have to support it. I have to support my nephew, have to support the team. And I'm just glad that they won. They beat UAB. I believe that stands for University of Alabama, Birmingham, or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyways, the Aztecs won 69-65. They move on to play Yale, who upset Auburn, I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, they're into round two. So that's awesome. Avatar says a shout out to the Colorado Buffs. They also move on as well in the playoffs. That was a tight game. That was a tight game for CU Buffs, man. I saw that the ending of that, but the score, that looked like a very, very tight game. So congratulations. March Madness is in full swing. That means football is getting closer and closer to the draft. Broncos haven't really made any major moves in the acquisition of any quarterback, and we'll get into that. You guys can see what the title of the show is called. Is Tannehill the right quarterback? Underneath my name below it says, does Denver need another bridge quarterback? I'll get into that in a little bit. Before I do, though, I do want to start off. This is not football related. It's not Denver Bronco related, but it is sports related. And it is not something that sports looks at in any fashion, whether it be football, baseball, hockey, basketball, whatever sport. They don't look kindly to what I'm about to bring. So here it is, guys, the jackass of the week. All right, this, like I said, this isn't football related, and I'll get into that. This is the only topic that's not football related, but it is sports related. So I need to bring it. It is all over the networks. It's everywhere. If any of you out there are blinded or under a rock or whatever when it comes to this particular person, then you're not really watching sports. Here it is. The Los Angeles Dodgers have fired Shohei Ohtani's interpreter for sending wire transfers from Ohtani's bank account to the equivalent of $4.5 million. Now, I understand Shohei Ohtani probably wouldn't miss that since he's getting $700 million for the Dodgers over 10 years. That's beside the point, and it gets worse. Hang on, guys. Sources are saying, how did this happen without Ohtani not knowing anything about this? If Ohtani knew and allowed this, it is a violation of Major League Baseball due to sending money to illegal gambling bookies. Yes, that's what it's coming to, is illegal gambling bookies. Now, here's the problem. Here's what's being thrown out there, okay? I know as well as a lot of people out there know, when you wire money or send money, there's always a transaction code. There's always if there's a large sum of money, like he was sending $500,000 at a time. And if that's the case, Shohei Ohtani is going to get a message on his phone or computer or somehow, some way saying, hey, did you authorize this large amount? I'm not going to go into detail, but a couple of my accounts were compromised. And I got a notification from my bank that said, hey, did you make this transition? And I said, no, I did not. Okay, that was not that large of a sum. It wasn't $500,000. I guarantee you that. But they still notified me. They had to have notified Shohei Ohtani, unless Shohei Ohtani gave his interpreter, who they're really good friends, access 100% to his account without him knowing. I ain't buying it. Let me continue. Let's see. Ohtani's interpreter said, and I quote, Ohtani's interpreter said when asked, and I quote, Ohtani wasn't happy about it, meaning when he found out, and said he would help me out to make sure I never do this again. He decided to pay it off for me, end quote. Holy smoke, you can't do that. You know, the NFL would lose their freaking mind if this happened. And now baseball, from my understanding that just came across the wire, but shortly before I came on the air, the Major League Baseball hierarchies are investigating this entire thing. The FBI is involved. This is not something that is just a brush off the shoulder kind of thing and, hey, let's just move on. That's not the case. This is serious stuff, guys, serious stuff. And Shohei Ohtani, who has been dubbed as, the modern day Babe Ruth, is in very hot water, extremely hot water. And this is very, very ugly. It's not over yet. It's not going to be over for quite a while. I don't want to, spend a whole lot of time on this topic, but it is something that happens behind the scenes. And Shohei Ohtani is not, he's from Japan, I believe. He's not American born or anything, doesn't really know, but he should know. He should know. He's in Major League Baseball. He should know. And everybody said, well, that's happened with the Angels and not with the Dodgers. It doesn't matter. It happened with Ohtani as an interpreter. And that is a major issue. If there is somewhere, what did I say it was? 4.5 million being sent to illegal bookies. FBI is going to get into that. FBI is going to get into that. Anyways, all right, I move on. I just wanted to bring that because that is some absolutely shocking sports news all across this country. It is just, it's on every single sports station you go to. That's exactly what they're talking about. And they should be talking about it because this is serious stuff. Serious stuff. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay. Biggie, welcome to the chat. Biggie Bronco, you are batting second behind Avatar. Nice spot to be in. Thank you so much for being in chat. Biggie Bronco says, Pete Rose can't be in baseball. This Joker should be out of baseball as well. I totally agree. I don't know what's going to happen. Now, you have to understand, too, guys out there, Biggie as well. Excuse me. You have to understand that, Shohei Ohtani is loved by Major League Baseball. He's absolutely loved. And this is what I don't like about sports. Baseball will kind of like turn their eye, or football turn their eye, protect a lot of people because that's their money. That's their money machine. I don't know what's going to happen to Shohei Ohtani. I don't know what's going to happen to whether or not he's suspended or fined or nothing. I mean, they could just say, no, he had no involvement, which I kind of seriously doubt. Seriously doubt. My wife is on my account. When she does something and it looks like a large amount, they'll call me up or they'll text me and say, hey, there's a purchase made on such a card, blah, blah. Did you make it? Oh, yeah, that was my wife. I got that a couple months ago. I said, yeah, that's my wife. No problem. It's all good. $500,000, not one transaction, not two. I heard today it was up to 9 different transactions. $500,000. And Shohei Ohtani doesn't get any contact, any notification whatsoever. I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. Hey, wait a minute, Madungus, what are you doing, my friend? Madungus Creevy says the Cubs suck. What the heck? Well, okay, they lost today, but it's preseason. Who cares? Anyways, thanks, Madungus, for being in the chat. You're batting third. He also says, go Broncos. Okay, well, I got some good stuff on that as well. So, anyways, Madungus, thanks for chiming in. I don't appreciate the Cubs suck thing, but hey, it's all good. It's all good, my friend. All right. By the way, footnote. Avalanche play tonight at 6 o'clock Pacific time, my time. Don't worry, guys. If I go past 6 o'clock, it's okay. I got to re-sign in on the stupid thing anyways because somehow, some way my account got not deleted, but I got to re-sign in. Anyways, it's all good, guys. I'll be here until we're done. All right. Biggie Broncos says baseball's a freaking joke anyway. It's been joke for years. What do you mean a joke? You mean a joke in punishing people? Then I would have to agree. In a joke into watching, I enjoy baseball. I really do enjoy baseball a lot. Okay, Biggie follows up by saying, I don't care. Kick the guy back over to Japan. Get him out of here. You know what? If I agree. I agree. You know, you can't have this in American sports, and you know, you just can't do it. All right, I move on. Let's get into some football stuff. All right, Mike Williams. The New York Jets have signed former Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams to a 1-year deal. Williams, 29 years old of age, gets a max value of $15 million per Adam Schefter's report. Williams be one of Aaron Rodgers' main targets coming up. Guys, that's great that he's out of the AFC West. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's great he's out of the AFC West, but guess what, guys? We play the Jets again this year. We play the Jets again. Not sure whether it's home or away. I don't have that the previous release. I think the Jets are away this year. I think we're in New York. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers, most likely, obviously quarterback. He's going to have Mike Williams now. And even though the Broncos dodged a bullet, so to speak, by not having to face Mike Williams on the Chargers twice a year, just so happens he lands in New York, and the Broncos have to play the Jets. Well, guess what? The Broncos also have to play the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns. And Pittsburgh has Russell Wilson, and Cleveland has Jerry Jeudy. So there you go. I mean, we get rid of players, and then we end up having to play them anyways because they go to the teams that we're end up scheduled to play. Moving on, speaking of Russell Wilson, and I've got several things regarding him, and I know he's not on the Broncos anymore, but it's still relevant because it pertains to the Broncos in a roundabout way. We have to, like I mentioned, we have to play the Steelers coming up this year. So Russell Wilson's on that team. So in a roundabout way, got to talk about it. There's not a whole lot of Bronco news per se because they're not really doing much. They're kind of laying low right now, kind of waiting for the draft. Maybe they're watching March Madness. Maybe they're cheering for the Avalanche going to the games or the Nuggets. I don't know. But they're definitely not making a whole lot of headline news. So I'm bringing in other topics. Here we go. Russell Wilson has sold his Denver home and is officially gone out of Colorado. However, in doing so, he lost $3.5 million in his sale. He purchased the home 2 years ago for $25 million, but sold it for $21.5 million. With the $85 million guaranteed he's getting from the Denver Broncos due to that guaranteed contract, I'm sure $3.5 million loss to a home sold in Cherry Hills, Colorado, isn't going to hurt him all that much. I doubt it, but it's just ironic that he was so hard and so quick to get out of Colorado. I mean, it's almost like don't let the screen door hit you on the way out, so to speak. He was sending a message to the Broncos because I guess he put the house up from house on the market in April. I mean, in February, and it sold in March. I mean, that's pretty quick. And it sold for $21.5. That's still a good chunk of change, man. A really good chunk of change. But he was so quick to get out of Denver and get into Pittsburgh that, I mean, he'd take a what was I say, a 3.5? Yeah, $3.5 million loss. And like I said, you're making $85 million. What's 3.5? It's like chump change. It's like having a $100 bill in your wallet and you're parting with, $3.50. Ain't really that much. So I don't think he's really freaking out about it. But it's ironic that, the whole media would put out there, shoot, Russell Wilson's on a way out of here real fast. He sold that house and lost $3.5 million. It's kind of hard to say you lose $3.5 million when you're getting $85 million from the Denver Broncos. Oh, by the way, he is also getting a minimum salary from Pittsburgh. And if that's anywhere close to 3.5, which I don't think it is, doesn't matter. It's just funny how media people will put something like that, because they have nothing really else to talk about. Well, I guess I'm part of that too, because I brought it up as well. It's just ironic that it happened so fast. You would think that he would say, yeah, whatever, I'll pay the mortgage or whatever for a couple, 2 more, 3 years, whatever. Not 2 or 3 years, I'm sorry. 2 or 3 more months, whatever. And, get a house in Pittsburgh and then just walk. But no, willing to take a $3.5 million hit. Golly, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. How awesome would it be to be able to say, I'll sell my house for $3.5 million less. Ain't no big deal. It's all good. Must be nice. Must be freaking nice to be able to just go, it's only $3.5 million. Ain't no big deal. I mean, I can't imagine selling the house I'm in for, less than what we paid. I really can't. It's just, I don't know. It's just boggles my mind. But then I'm not a multimillionaire, not getting $85 million guaranteed from any organization. That's for dang sure. Wish my retirement was that. That'd be sweet. Nope. Not even a drop in a bucket. Not even close. Not even close. Madugas, what do you mean use your words, Bill? What are you talking about, boy? Huh? Come on, man. Let's see. D-Rock is in the house. D-Rock says, Big Bill, I'm anticipating this draft immensely. I am to a certain degree, but I'm very skeptical, and I'll get into some of that down the road. Very, very skeptical of what the Broncos have planned. I have no idea. Do I want them to move up? Not at the expense of Pat Surtain II. Not at all. Not at the expense of any other Bronco for that matter. I really don't want that. Does it mean that we don't get our quarterback? I don't know. I don't know. This team right now is being like this. Not saying a freaking word. Free agency basically came and went. That the absolute onslaught came and went. Players released by the Broncos. A couple of Broncos, brought back players, like Lutz and, and others. And it's just, you don't really hear a lot of scuffling and news around Dove Valley. You don't hear them these days. It's really low key. I don't know what direction to make of that, D-Rock. I really don't. I don't know what to make of, are they doing things, below the scene, so to speak, and then it'll surface later, like a volcano? I don't know. Is it going to be, some major trade announcement right before the draft, right during the draft? I don't know. Are they going to trade back? Are they going to trade up? Are they going to stay where they are? I don't know, D-Rock. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting, put it that way. Okay, Big E says Russell Wilson's credibility is shot. Didn't he say in that interview with Brandon Marshall his house wasn't for? Yes, he did say that. He did say his house wasn't for sale. I agree. He didn't. I don't know if Sierra had anything to do with that. Like, let's just sell it and move on. Let's, we love Denver. Well, that's what they said. They love Denver. They're glad to be there, blah, 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 the whole bit. Then he goes to Pittsburgh. I'm glad to be in Pittsburgh, blah, blah. I mean, it's the same old song and dance with these guys. It really is the same old song and dance. They get to, I understand you're not going to trash the team that you went to. You're not going to say, you're definitely not going to say, I really don't want to be here. I want to stay in Denver. But at the same time, you don't sit there and just, pretty much turn your back on an organization that just guaranteed you freaking money. I mean, I don't know. I'd be grateful. I mean, if I went to a company, I'm retired, guys, well, I work at a golf course, but I'm retired from the school district 28 years. Anyways, so if I were to go to a company And I hadn't done a freaking thing for that company, but I had done stuff for a previous company that was very, very similar, just, same type of company. And they offered me guaranteed money. I'd thank them all the way to the bank. Every time I had a chance, just want to thank such and such. Thanks for the opportunity. Really do appreciate it. I know things didn't work out. I'm moving on. I wish all the best to you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I would be appreciative. Absolutely. Because they're the ones that gave me the guaranteed freaking money. Why would I not be appreciative? But when players go to other teams and then they turn around and trash it, like Jerry Jeudy, and we'll get into some of that, you just, I don't get it. I flat out don't understand it. But hey, I don't have the egos these guys have, I guess. I don't have the prima donna status, or I don't have the alpha personality or something. I don't know. I don't get it. I'd be thanking the Broncos all the way to the bank every time I got a chance. Every time I got a chance, I'd be thanking George Payton, all the way to the bank. Thanks, George. Thanks, Greg Penner. You guys are the best. Okay, I don't get it. All right. Madunga says Steelers are paying him $1.2 million. Okay, well, that doesn't really cover the 3.5 of the house, but that hurt. Doesn't hurt. And he doesn't really need the $1.2 million. That's just because they got to pay him. But, when like I said, when you're getting guaranteed bank, that's 3.5. I don't know. I don't know, man. Must be nice to be in that situation. I'd love to find out. Tell you the truth. Oh, wait a minute. The Mega Millions is tonight. No, man, that's California. The Powerball, something's tonight. But my wife, after the show, wants me to go down about a block away and go buy me some lottery tickets for the big, I think it's 977 million or something like that. Yeah, it'd be kind of nice to figure out to kind of realize what that's all about. All right. D-Rock says we cannot place Stidham as a quarterback next season. Well, D-Rock, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't have, and I'm going to get into that. If you notice at the top of the show, it says, is Tannehill the right quarterback? Underneath my name, it says, does Denver need another bridge quarterback? I will get into that topic in a little bit down the road. All right. Let's see. Big E says, until Justin Fields beats him out for the starting job and they cut him because it becomes a cancer in the locker room. It's funny you bring that up, Big E. It's funny you bring that up because I've got a couple of things regarding that. It's not this very next topic, but it's along the same line. Well, kind of. Anyways, well, we'll talk about it. How's that? Oh my gosh, Madungus, you cracked me up, dude. But when I said pre-Madonna, Madungus comes back and says, Bill wishes in big capitals. Bill wishes he was Madonna. No, I don't wish I was Madonna. Not at all. Oh my gosh, Madungus. What can I say? Okay, no, nothing about being Madonna, but that cracks me up. Let's see. Okay, let's go to let's listen to this one. In regards to Russell Wilson and Pittsburgh Steelers, listen to this one. Last Friday, the Steelers made Wilson Last Friday, the Steelers made Wilson's 1-year contract official. They also planned to ink the quarterback to a long-term deal after, not before he takes the first snap in Pittsburgh like they did in Denver, after the conclusion of the 2024 season, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Even though Fields has signed with the Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin has said Wilson will be the starting quarterback, period. Not so fast. Not so fast. Let me get in. I'm going to jump over this real quick into what I was going to say. Where is it? Make sure I don't. Here it is. Okay, so it says in here in this one, according to the like I said, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, They're saying that Coach Mike Tomlin has said Wilson will be the starting quarterback, okay, in the 2024 season. However, with Justin Fields signing with the Steelers and Mike Tomlin saying Wilson will be the starter, things aren't all what they seem to be. Tomlin has said to Wilson after saying he's going to be the starting quarterback, but before Justin Fields was signed by the Steelers, Mike Tomlin said, like I said, he said Russell Wilson's going to be the starting quarterback 2024. He followed it up and said, Tomlin has said to Wilson, and I quote, "Get ready to sing," end quote. What the heck would get ready to sing? What is this, like America's Got Talent? No, that's not what he's saying. Talking about get ready to sing. In other words, get ready to be the guy. Wilson then replied to Tomlin's comment, "I felt like myself again this past year, and I can't wait to put on those cleats and go after it," end quote. Has the feud already started in Pittsburgh? I mean, think about it. Mike Tomlin goes to Russell Wilson or Justin Fields and say, "Hey, he's going to be my starting quarterback." Okay? Russell Wilson, my starting quarterback. Oh, wait a minute. We got Justin Fields? We got Justin Fields? Oh, guess what, Russell? Get ready to sing. And Wilson replies with, "I can't wait. I felt like myself again." I don't want to misquote him, but I'll say a quote again. "I felt like myself again this past year, and I can't wait to put on my cleats and go after it," end quote. What's going on in Pittsburgh now? Well, guess what? It's about the same thing that happened in Seattle that then happened in Denver with Hackett and, of course, with Sean Payton. And now it's happening in Pittsburgh. Now, I've always learned and over the years, plus I've always thought in the back of my head that if there is a common denominator, who or what is causing that common denominator? Was it the Seattle coach? Oh, God, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Anyways, can't remember. Whatever. Doesn't matter. He's not coaching Seattle anymore anyways. So, Pete Carroll. Was it Pete Carroll's fault in Seattle? Okay, maybe a little bit. Was it Nathaniel Hackett's fault in Denver? Well, yeah, he basically let Russell Wilson run amok. Was it Sean Payton's fault with Russell Wilson last year? Possibly. Is it going to be Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Russell Wilson? Possibly. But what's the common denominator? You've got 4 head coaches: Pete Carroll, Nathaniel Hackett, Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin. What's the common denominator? Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a common denominator. And it looks like its true colors are starting to surface. Well, they were surfacing last year. They were surfacing against Hackett because he was able to have his own entourage on the field with him all the time. He had his own office. Sean Payton comes in and says, "Oh, BS, you ain't having that." And then they get in on the sidelines, and Russell Wilson gets yelled at, and the whole thing just, implodes. He goes to Pittsburgh, and now he's saying, can't wait to put my cleats on and go after it. Okay, so be it. But there's already starting to be a feud. I can see it. Already starting to be a feud. That's only going to benefit Denver because when we play Pittsburgh, who's it going to be? Justin Fields? Possibly. Is it going to be Russell Wilson? I don't know. I have no clue. Okay, listen to this. Chicago Bears have traded Justin Fields, we talked about that, to Pittsburgh Steelers for a 2025 6th-round pick that would go to a 4th-round pick. Here it is, based on playing time. Does that mean that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to play Justin Fields and give him that playing time so that the Chicago Bears get a fourth round pick? I don't think so. Why would you want to help out the Bears? Well, it's already a 6th round pick. I mean, a 4th round pick jumps up too. That's pretty significant. Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers want to give Chicago that big of a bump? I don't think so. What if Russell Wilson screws up? What if he doesn't play well? Just saying. What if he doesn't play well? And I understand, guys, I'm talking a lot about Russell Wilson, but like I said at the beginning of the show, there isn't a whole lot of Broncos stuff because they're lying low. There's not a whole lot of Broncos stuff. I mean, I could rehash, the people that the Broncos got rid of, the ones that came back like Lutz and I can't remember the other one. Tight end. I can't remember. Anyways, Troutman, I think it was. Came back, and that's all well and good, but in my opinion, they never left because they never signed with another team. We could talk about Jerry Jeudy. We could talk about his Courtland Sutton being moved, or are we going to move up in the draft? That's all been done over and over and over and over by other shows on this network and across America. I'm not, I try and dive into stuff that isn't, not that it isn't relevant, but that isn't really talked about all that much. All right. Before I go on, I think I got one or two more. I got one more direct Russell Wilson and a side one. Okay. Let's see. Big E says, yeah, but Pittsburgh told Kenny Pickett he was going to be the quarterback this year too. And you saw how that worked out. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. That's why I say there's already a feud, in my opinion, going on with Russell Wilson and Mike Tomlin that's not going to make Pittsburgh Steelers fans happy, which is okay with me because I don't like Steelers fans. But anyways, it's just that's the common denominator, guys. Common denominator. All right, Madungus Cruz says the next neighborhood you got to wear the cone shape. What the heck? The next freaking Madungus. I am not doing a Madonna dress alike. That is not happening. Not happening. Come on. You really want to see that? You guys out there really want to see that? No, you don't want to see that. I know you don't. And I don't want to do it. So that's good gosh, man. It's crazy. Crazy. Glenn, welcome to the chat, my friend. Welcome for stopping in. Really appreciate it. I highly recommend the Bo Nix interview with Colin Cowherd. Will be worth the time. I will definitely look into that. Thanks, Glenn. Really do appreciate that very much. Douglas, how am I digging holes? I know I'm saying things without thinking. That's what this show's about. I bring the topics, I shoot from the hip, and hopefully that's what makes this show enjoyable to watch, engage in the chat, and all that kind of stuff. That's what would be good, D-Rock? What? Let's see. D-Rock says, I know I may get some hate, but can we grab Hunter Renfrow? That might not be bad. Madungus Cruz says, oh, that would be good, D-Rock. I agree. That would not be a bad fit at all. Bad fit at all. I just don't know. I don't know what this team's doing because they haven't done much. And that to me, I don't know. Is a work that they have a plan laid out that they're just not going to reveal. It's kind of like, playing poker. You just have that poker face. I don't know. But what it does to me is I wish there was more news out there, in regards to the Broncos directly. Just not a whole lot out there. Okay. From an NFL executive, going back to, let's flash back a little bit to a couple of topics I just mentioned. Mike Tomlin said Russell Wilson was going to be the starting quarterback. Also from the Pittsburgh Gazette, they also said that the Steelers are interested in making Russell Wilson a contract extension at the end of the 2024 season. Okay. Then Tomlin comes back and says, well, you better get ready to sing. And Russell Wilson replies with, I'm ready to go. Let's ride, but I'm ready to go for it. Okay. Listen to this. From an NFL executive insider who told ESPN Russell Wilson could be released by the Steelers if he doesn't play well during training camp. That's what it says, guys. During training camp. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. I don't make stuff up on my show, guys. I don't. Not making this up. That's what an NFL executive insider told ESPN. Why training camp? Training camp, really? You're not facing really other teams. Why not preseason? Why not regular season? That is interesting. Absolutely interesting that Mike Tomlin would basically do a 180, saying Russell Wilson's the starting quarterback. Now you got to fight for your job because we got Justin Fields. And now you may be released, according to an NFL executive insider. He might be released if he doesn't play well during training camp. Wow. Has this whole thing gone drastically crazy? Drastically crazy. And I'd like to ask anybody out there in on the chat, are any of you really wishing that we still had Russell Wilson as quarterback with all of this stuff going on, with all the stuff that we had with Nathaniel Hackett and Sean Payton, and now what's happening in Pittsburgh? Do any of us wish we still had Russell Wilson? Well, one former Bronco player wishes we still had Russell Wilson. Okay, does that shock anybody? That doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me because he's a former Bronco and he's a former offensive player. So does it shock me? Well, to a certain degree, yes. To another degree, not so much. Why? From what I just said. Former Denver Bronco wants to see the Broncos do well. Well, let me get to that. Okay, Big E says no. Oh, let me go wrong one. Big E says no. Nope, I don't miss Russell Wilson whatsoever. Glad he's done on the team, whatever. Right? Exactly. Okay. D-Rock says yes. Over Stidham, yes. Wow. So D-Rock would say he would rather have Russell Wilson over Stidham. Okay. Well, you have someone in agreement with you, D-Rock. Here it is. Before I get to that, I want to Clayton Huron says, absolutely love all the Broncos podcasts. All you guys do a great job. Broncos talk, football talk, man talk, and life in general. Clayton, thank you so much, my friend. You are a man that always comes up with the right words to say. The accolades, really do appreciate it. I know I'm trying to do my best to bring the topics and entertainment and enjoyment and all that for you guys out there. The interaction with the chat. It's what I love the most is the interaction with you guys. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. And thanks for the accolades, Clayton, and to everybody else on the MHRT network. Thanks a lot, Clayton, for that. All right. Going back to a former Denver Bronco, an offensive player who said this. According to former Broncos wide receiver Rod Smith, yes, Rod Smith, the one that, was absolutely amazing under Mike Shanahan with John Elway, said this. According to former Broncos wide receiver Rod Smith, the Broncos should have kept Russell Wilson. Smith said, and I quote, I honestly didn't agree with it. I thought he played well enough to stay in Denver. He did play well. He didn't play great, but he played well. I personally thought he could have helped us win, and that's what hurts me the most. End quote. Wow. Rod Smith had Russell Wilson's back. Why? I don't know. But I do think and feel that he's referring to that 5-game win streak. He didn't play great in the entire season, but he also didn't play badly. In my opinion, he did not play badly. And people say, well, it was the defense that won those 5 games. No, it wasn't the defense that won those games. It was the defense that put the Broncos offense in a very manageable situation to get points to win the game. The defense did have their hand in it. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Do I agree with Rod Smith? I love the guy. Thought he was a fantastic wide receiver. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely. Hands down, no questions asked. Do I agree with this? Maybe 50-50. Yes, I agree with it from the standpoint that the Broncos won 5 straight games against 4 teams that went to the playoffs. the Chiefs, the Bills, the Browns, and who's the Packers. The Vikings didn't go. The Packers did. The other 4 out of 5 went to the playoffs. I agree with that. I don't necessarily agree that the Broncos would be a better team today with Russell Wilson, except for the standpoint that if we only have Stidham to run this offense heading into 2024, we are in deep kimchi. That's hot cabbage, by the way. We are in deep, deep kimchi. Hot water. Not a good situation. If we draft a quarterback, he's going to have to sit behind Stidham and learn the ropes. I mean, that's just no two ways about it. Unless she's the number 1 draft pick, which we don't have, because that belongs to the Giants. I don't care. We don't have it, so it doesn't matter to me. We have number 12. I don't think we're going to get J.J. McCarthy unless we move up, and I don't want that if that means getting rid of Patrick Surtain. Don't want it. Don't want it. Don't want it. Period. But that was interesting that Rod Smith has Russell Wilson's back and even feels that it was a bad move, and that's what hurt him badly. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, Rod Smith knows the game. He knows the players. I don't know. That caught me off guard when I saw that. And I thought, wow. Well, former players are going to stick up with current players. I mean, if they're on your team or they were on, the team you play for, you have a tendency to stick up for them, that kind of thing. Wow. That really caught me off guard. Really did. Let's go to, let's see. Okay. Big E says the only reason Rod Smith would want him, meaning Russell Wilson, the only reason why Rod Smith would want Russell Wilson back in Denver, so he gets to look at Sierra every day. That's a good one, Big E. That's a good one, man. Kind of like that. I like the way you think. Like the way you think. Hey, the guy may not play good, but she sure looks good. Yeah, I see where that's coming. I see where you're coming from, man. I totally see where you're coming from. Okay. Madungus Cruz says, I personally don't think that with Stidham running the Peyton offense, there won't be any drop-off in quarterback play. You're talking about drop-off from Russell Wilson, I'm assuming. Well, do we want a repeat of Russell Wilson's offense, or do we want a better offense? I mean, I'm of the mindset I want a better offense. I mean, 8-9 is a heck of a lot better than 5-12. I'll give you that. But 8-9 still didn't get us the playoffs. And again, I don't understand how in heaven's name we lost the New England Patriots. I really don't. Other than what I've said many, many times, and I'll say it again because I firmly believe it, that Sean Payton sabotaged Russell Wilson. He did not put Russell Wilson in the best position to beat the Patriots, period. He didn't, because he didn't want him on the team. And I've beaten this till a Bronco blue in the face. I'm not going to continue. That's my personal feelings. Sorry, guys. Just my personal feelings. Okay. Madungus follows that up by saying Stidham came in, played just as well, running the offense tailored for Wilson. That wasn't what he brought. That's not what he was brought in for. Peyton brought him in to run his offense, Peyton's offense, and now we get the chance to see that. Okay? Madungus, I hope you're correct. I hope you're absolutely correct, because that would be an absolute big boost in the Broncos offense going forward next year. We don't have Jerry Jeudy. That receiver's gone to Cleveland, so we don't have him. And it doesn't look like Jerry Jeudy's going to go anywhere anytime fast. And here's why. The Cleveland Browns and Jerry Jeudy have agreed on a 3-year contract extension. Oh, wait a minute. He hasn't played a single down. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. He's not Russell Wilson. So in Pittsburgh anyway, not in Denver, because in Denver he got the guaranteed contract. Anyways, agreed to a 3-year contract extension worth up to $58 million. That includes a $41 million fully guaranteed amount at signing. This comes courtesy of Tom Pelissero. Wow. $58 million, up to $58 million, 3-year contract, $41 million guaranteed. I'll take that deal. I'll take that deal any day of the week. Any day of the week. In fact, I'll take a lot less than that any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that $3.5 $5 million that Russell Wilson lost on his house. I mean, I'll take that. That'll set me for life. I don't need all these. I don't need, $800, $977 million that's going up in the lottery today. I think it's the Powerball or whatever it is. I don't need all that. I'll take it, but I don't need it. 3.5 would be nice. I'll take that. All right. Let's see. Oh, that's true. Mundungus, you are absolutely right. Mundungus Creed says we have Tim Patrick back. That's very true. Yeah. We don't need Jerry Jr. Let him go to Cleveland for 3 years. It's all well and good. I mean, I can live with that. I can totally live with that. Okay, so the topic of the show is titled, Is Tannehill the right quarterback? Underneath my name, right down there, it says, does Denver need another bridge quarterback? All right, here it is. The topic of the show. Since the departure of Russell Wilson, the Broncos haven't entertained any free agent quarterbacks. Enter CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin, who suggests the Broncos sign former Tennessee quarterback Ryan Tannehill. He goes on and says, and I quote, even if the Broncos draft a quarterback, Tannehill could be a bridge starter to help the young quarterback if drafted, end quote. This is per Pro Football Focus and CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin. Now, my question to you, everybody out there, do the Broncos really need another bridge quarterback? As Mundungus Creevy said in the chat, we have a Jared Stidham. He didn't play under Sean Payton's offense the way Sean Payton wants to have an offense run. Stidham was brought in to be that quarterback to run Sean Payton's offense. Do we really need a Ryan Tannehill? Why would we need a bridge quarterback? We have Stidham. Or is Stidham not qualified or good enough or desired to be that, quote, bridge quarterback? And the reason why I say reason why I'm bringing up the bridge quarterback aspect is simply this. The Denver Broncos, if everyone out there in the chat and everywhere else, do you realize the Broncos have never drafted a franchise quarterback that has taken them to the Super Bowl and won it? No, it wasn't John Elway. No. Go back, guys. In 1983, John Elway was drafted by the then Baltimore Colts. Jim Irsay, the owner, John Elway did not want to play for Jim Irsay, the owner, or the Baltimore Colts. So he held out, went and played with the Yankees, and played baseball with the Yankees farm team for 1 year. Then the Colts traded Elway to the Broncos, I should say, and the rest is history. John Elway was not drafted by the Broncos. Guess what? When the Broncos went to their first Super Bowl with Craig Morton, 1977, against the Dallas Cowboys, ironically, the team he came from. He was not drafted by the Broncos. He was drafted by the Cowboys. He came to the Broncos. Again, not a Broncos draft pick. Name any quarterback you want out there. Peyton Manning? Sure, we drafted quarterbacks we thought would be our franchise quarterback. It never happened. We've never drafted a franchise quarterback that was long-term. We've had long-term quarterbacks, but we haven't drafted one that produced a Super Bowl championship or even going to a Super Bowl. All the Super Bowls that we've been to have been from Craig Morton in 77, John Elway for, I think, 5 years, and Peyton Manning. That's it. That is it. So do I have high hopes that the Denver Broncos are going to draft a franchise quarterback? Not really, because we haven't. We've drafted many quarterbacks. They have not produced. Am I being negative Nancy? No, I'm not. I'm being honest. Look it up. I'm not making this up, guys. I don't do that. So I don't have high hopes. But does that mean we need another bridge quarterback? No, we've had those the last 6 years. Ever since Peyton Manning retired, we have not had a quarterback worth a dang, even when we brought in Russell Wilson. And then we had Drew Lock. And then we had Brock Osweiler. And we had so many others. We had Joe Flacco. I mean, it goes on and on and on. When are the Broncos going to get it right? Is it this year? I don't know. Look at Justin Herbert. He's on the chart. He's our franchise quarterback. Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. He's our franchise quarterback. How about Josh Allen in Buffalo? And it goes on and on. Most teams don't succeed when they trade quarterbacks or have a, quote, bridge quarterback. Doesn't work. It may work and look good for a little bit. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. Might look good. Doesn't get you very much. I mean, why would you do that? I don't see the point in bringing a Ryan Tannehill to Denver. Is he the long-term answer? I don't think so. We need to draft a franchise quarterback. Who is it? Bo Nix? Is it J.J. McCarthy? Is it a sleeper? Is it a 6th-round pick like another Tom Brady? I don't know. And that's what scares me, because we haven't known for the entire time I've been a Bronco fan. Since 76, I have no recollection ever of having a drafted quarterback by the Denver Broncos that's lasted a long time and been worth a dang. Hasn't happened. Does not happen. They've been instrumental, like Osweiler was instrumental in the Broncos when Peyton Manning was injured and the Broncos went to Super Bowl and won Super Bowl 50. But then he was gone. I mean, the Broncos haven't done well in drafting franchise quarterbacks. It's never happened. Never, ever happened. Do I think Tannehill's the answer? I don't know. I'm not the GM. I'm not the owner. I'm not the head coach. I'm just saying, if we have Jared Stidham, let Jared Stidham stay there. Let's draft a quarterback. Hopefully it'll be a franchise quarterback, and we can move on. And we can, build something that we've been longing to build for years and years and years. And that is draft a franchise quarterback, have him on the team like Elway was, even though we didn't draft him, like Elway was for 16 years. That's what I want. And to me, it felt like John Elway was a franchise quarterback that was drafted. Now, don't twist my words, guys. Yes, he was a franchise quarterback, but he wasn't drafted by the Broncos. That's the point I'm trying to make. Would Tannehill be a franchise quarterback? I don't see it. I really don't. And I'm sorry, I don't. I mean, why would Tennessee get rid of him if they thought he was a franchise quarterback? Just the way I see it, guys. Just the way I see it. Let's see. Young Tyrone. Hey, welcome to the chat, Young Tyrone. Haven't seen you before. Welcome to the chat. Hats off to you for being in here. Really do appreciate it. Excuse me. He says, no, we don't need another bridge quarterback. That's Stidham. I totally agree. And that was my point. Why bring in somebody else when we already have basically a bridge quarterback? It's right there. Jared Stidham. Let's see. Rudy Torres, my brother-in-law from Vegas. Thanks for coming into the chat. Nice to see you again. Says, no matter who we get, we will still be starting over. Absolutely. That's been the Broncos motto for years. And it's like, playing the record, putting it back to beginning. Playing the record, putting it back to beginning. Same old song and dance, man. It's mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling, and it's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating to me. Very frustrating. Let's see. To be fair, we drafted a quarterback that won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. All right, Madungas, who was that? Who did we draft? Okay, he may have won it, but he didn't start. He wasn't the starting quarterback. I think you might be talking about Brian Griese, if I'm not mistaken. Brian Griese? Was it Brian Griese? Who was that? Okay, I'm talking about franchise starting quarterback. The franchise quarterback that we drafted that won the Super Bowl, that was on a team as, their starting quarterback. I mean, a whole lot of people get drafted and they sit on the bench and they do nothing and they get the good little ring. Yay, I got a ring. I didn't do nothing. Sat on the bench. Kind of just sat there and go, yay, yeah, come on, let's get that ring for me. Doesn't do nothing. I mean, seriously. I mean, there's a lot of guys that do that. A lot of guys don't play and they get rings. Okay, maybe he was a token quarterback. He was on there for he played 4, 5, 6 game whatever in mock up situations or whatever. Okay, so what? I'm talking starting freaking quarterback, franchise starting quarterback. Played the whole year, won the Super Bowl as the starting quarterback. It has never happened in Bronco history. Never happened. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me get to Muhammad. Muhammad Badri is in the house. Muhammad, nice to see you. Thanks so much for being in the chat. It says, good evening, Bill. Good evening, Muhammad. Glad to see you, man. Muhammad says, Madungus, you still a Raiders fan? That was hilarious. That was hilarious. The other, I think it was last Friday, wasn't it, Madungus? That was, Muhammad, that was hilarious, man. That was hilarious. Brock Osweiler. Yes, Brock Osweiler won a Super Bowl. He was not the starting quarterback. Yes, he did help out Peyton Manning in all that, but he was not the starting quarterback. He was not the main quarterback. He was not the franchise quarterback because he was gone soon after. And yes, he got a ring, but he got a ring for holding a clipboard on the sideline with a makeshift. I'm listening to the plays just in case I got to go in. He never played in the Super Bowl. In fact, he didn't even play in the playoffs because in the game he was benched. Russell Wilson, holy smokes! Peyton Manning came in against the Chargers because we were losing our keister, and Osweiler was throwing all the freaking ridiculous passes and getting intercepted. And Peyton Manning had to come in and save the day so that we would get home field advantage against the New England Patriots. I know you're trying to rile me up, Madungus, and you're doing a dang good job. Because no, that was not the case. Yes, he was instrumental, but he was not the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl, and he was not the franchise quarterback. He was a backup to Peyton Manning. Yes, we drafted him, but he never turned out to be the franchise quarterback. Whew, okay. Holy smokes, man. Yep, there's somebody else, John Elway's backup. That was Clint Kubiak. That was Gary Kubiak. I agree. We did draft Gary Kubiak. Again, he was not the starting quarterback. You guys are missing the point. We've never drafted a quarterback that was a franchise quarterback that started and won a Super Bowl for the Denver Broncos in their history. Never, ever has happened. Ever. And up to this point in time, I don't see it happening. Unless we can land a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, even though Josh Allen had won one, Dan Marino, even though Dan Marino never won one, he went to one as a starting quarterback, as a drafted starting franchise quarterback. That's the point I'm trying to make, guys. Okay? That's it. I'm not trying to make anything bigger than that. I'm just pointing out that we don't need a bridge quarterback because bridge quarterbacks or backup quarterbacks haven't done squat. Nothing. They've helped out during the season like Brock Osweiler, and they've helped out, other guys have helped out in situational games, but not long-term, not playoffs, not Super Bowls. Okay. Oh, Robert Marino, my nephew, I call Bobby, SDSU alum, and congratulations once again to SDSU, Robert. Good point. Bubby Brister, we didn't draft him. Bubby Brister came from Pittsburgh. Bubby Brister we didn't win that Super Bowl. He was a backup. Man, you guys are all throwing me loops now, man. But Brian Greasy, yes. Biggie says Brian Greasy, yes. Again, was not the starting quarterback. They're on the bench when they win it. Oh, my gosh, guys. You're driving me nuts. Yes, there's a lot of Bronco players that the Broncos drafted as quarterbacks that have won rings, that have gone to Super Bowls, but we're not the starting quarterback. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say is that the Broncos are notoriously pathetic when it comes to drafting franchise quarterbacks that are worth their salt, worth their weight in gold, worth whatever you want to say. Kyle Orton did not win. Dungus. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, we're done. I'm out of here. No, I got a couple more topics. It's all good. Bobby says you already had a bridge quarterback. His name is Teddy Bridgewater. Yep, I mentioned that last week that we don't need another Bridgewater quarterback. Absolutely. See, that's what I'm saying. We don't need that. We don't need to go down that path again. We've gone down that road. It leads to a dead end. Period. Dead end. We don't need any more. my brother-in-law Rudy goes, okay, fine. On to the next subject. Yeah, I get it. All right. Okay, one more thing on this side. Young Tyrone says John Elway, Peyton Manning was last to start and won Super Bowl. You guys are all irritated. Yes, I would agree. Speaking of irritated, let's get to, well, this is a sad note. And okay, legendary Bronco quarterback passes away. No, not anybody I remember, and I've been a Bronco fan since 1976 because this was before I was a Bronco fan. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because this particular quarterback was instrumental in the Broncos' early success in the AFL. Before the two leagues merged, there's an AFL and an NFL. Then they changed it to the NFC. Here it is. Steve Tensey passed away last Friday at the age of 81. Who's Steve Tensey, you ask? Well, Tensey was the first quarterback to throw a touchdown pass in the NFL for the Denver Broncos in that season of 1970. Yes, I didn't become a Bronco fan until 76, before my time. However, instrumental. Let me continue. It was also the first year of the regular season in which the NFL consisted of two conferences that would play in the regular season. Now, it didn't say whether it was I think it was the AFL, NFL, the two conferences. Okay, like two different leagues, but two conferences. I'm not quite sure exactly what that meant. The article didn't state that. Tennessee was one of the best quarterbacks in the AFL in 1969, ranked in the top 5 in passing touchdowns and passer rating. Once again, Steve Tensey passed away last Friday at the age of 81. You know, I like I said, I never heard of him. I wasn't a Bronco fan in 1970. I mean, at that age, I was only 12. So you guys do the math. Yes, I was born in 1958. So I was 12 years old. I was a Vikings fan in 1970 and a Broncos fan, officially my favorite team in 1976. Vikings are my favorite NFC team dating back to 1970 and always will be my favorite NFC team. Okay, that being said, just wanted to pass that along. Condolences to his family, 81-year-old Steve Tensey. All right. Madungus Creevy says, Tim Tebow referring back to the quarterback we drafted. Madungus, I'm going to tell you this. I absolutely love Tim Tebow. Absolutely love Tim Tebow. And do you guys realize, I'm going to throw this out there now that Madungus brought this up. Do you realize that since Peyton Manning, or even before Peyton Manning, obviously, do you realize that Tim Tebow is the only quarterback other than Peyton Manning to go to the playoffs and win? That's it. Tim Tebow, the quarterback John Elway didn't like, kind of half-heartedly when he won. Yeah, you know, kind of made it look good. No, Tim Tebow to me was an outstanding, amazing quarterback. Was he a Johnny Unitas? No. Was he a Patrick Mahomes? No. But the guy had heart. He had grit. He had determination. I mean, just go back and look at some of those games. It was just incredible how the Broncos won some of those games. Absolutely incredible. You know, fourth quarter, 4 minutes left against the Dolphins, I believe, and they're down, what was it, 13-0? And they win the game? Seriously? Crazy. Gets the Chicago Bears. Instead of going out of bounds, instead of staying in bounds to run the clock, he goes out of bounds. And then very next play, the Broncos get a turnover and they win the game. Crazy. Kansas City Chiefs. A run instead of taking a knee. The guy fumbles. Broncos scoop it up, run the end zone. Crazy. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers playoff game in Denver. That shot heard round the world from Tim Tebow, the very first play of overtime for the very first time ever that a touchdown scored on the opening drive would seal the deal. And Tim Tebow hits the late Demaryius Thomas, number 88, on a slant pattern across the middle, runs it the entire distance, 80 yards for a Bronco touchdown, and they win the game. Incredible. Tim Tebow, loved the guy. Absolutely loved Tim Tebow. Only quarterback other than Peyton Manning from that time frame, from that year, Tim Tebow, all the way to present, the only quarterback the Broncos have had that's gone to the playoffs and won. Just saying. Just saying. And so many people didn't like Tim Tebow. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. Okay. Yes. Mohamed Badri, I totally agree. I miss Tebow. The energy he brought was amazing. Absolutely. That's what I love about the guy. He loved football, and he was passionate about it. He wore his emotions on his shirt sleeve. I wouldn't know what that means. Yeah, right. Yeah, I would. But it's just, I love the guy's energy. I love the passion like that. Love it. Absolutely. Mohamed Badri said Madungas should have named all the Broncos quarterbacks. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Didn't say Joe Flacco, but then I did. So many quarterbacks. So many quarterbacks. Young Tyrone says Tim Tebow was magic. Absolutely magic. Just loved that guy's energy. It was funny because I'd watch the entire game and I'd watch the first quarter, nothing. Second quarter, nothing. Third quarter, nothing. And then all of a sudden you hear the guys in the calling the game going, Tebow time. And sure enough, fourth quarter, I don't know what it was. It goes, switch comes on, and Tebow was magic. Just like young Tyrone said, Tebow was magic. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Whoa, Kamani's in the house and starts out with a shot across the bow, man. Across the bow. Kamani Dixon, Chargers fan, Bill, you in 19. No, I was not. I've never been a Chargers fan. I never will be a Chargers fan. Cannot go there. Cannot do it. No. Nope. Oh, my gosh. Nope. Can't do it. Okay. Never have. Never will. Never have. Never will. Kamani Dixon says, talking about Tim Tebow, it said the Lord was with him. I would have to agree. I would say there's a whole lot of truth to that, man. A whole lot of truth to that. Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, every one of you, so much for being in the chat. Those who are not in the chat, thank you so much anyways for watching, for taking your time out on a busy Friday, wherever you may be, enjoying your pre-weekend festivities, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for taking an hour and a little plus out of your Friday evening. It is greatly appreciated. Thanks so much. On your way out, if you do check out, when you do check out after the show, please hit the thumbs up button, the like button. That lets everybody know you like the show, you like the content, you want others to know about it. It costs you nothing. Takes one little click, and it does help out the show, the network, very, very much. Really do appreciate it. Madungas Creevy says Case Keenum. Okay, Case Keenum. He wasn't drafted by the Broncos. He was on the Broncos. Didn't really do much. I think that was Vikings. Case Keenum was on Vikings too, I believe. Yeah, Kamani says, I hate it when I came on late, Bill. It's okay, man. It's okay. Once you're here, you're here. It's all good, dude. You can go back and watch from the very beginning when the show's over and catch everything that was said. And, unfortunately, I can't respond to it. But, hey, you can go back and watch the show, and I really do appreciate it. Madungas, you're driving me nuts, dude. Madungas says, Jay Cutler didn't do much. Okay, next one is Trevor Siemian. Didn't do much. Kamani says, Bubby Brister. That was already mentioned by Madungas. That's okay, Kamani. You can repeat it. It's fine. Bubby Brister didn't do much. Those are all bridge quarterbacks. Bridge quarterbacks. Not doing much. Not drafted by the Broncos. Those are transplants into Colorado. Doesn't do much. None. I don't want Tannehill. I don't. We don't need him. Plain and simple. We don't need him. Okay. This is the last topic of the show. Duncan says Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, I know. We got that one. My nephew Bobby mentioned that. Duncan, you're driving me crazy. Okay, last topic of the show, and here it is. Before Duncan Creven names every quarterback in the entire NFL that's ever been played on or off the Broncos. All right, the NFL is leaving the tush push as a legal play for the 2024 NFL season. It's the play the Philadelphia Eagles made work to a science. Justin Simmons, former Bronco, wish he was still there. Justin Simmons tweeted, and I quote, "It's an offensive play. Makes sense to me," end quote. Okay. Justin Simmons agrees. He's a defensive player, but Justin Simmons agrees that they should leave it in. Says it's an offensive play. There has nothing wrong with it. But here's my thought. Okay, here's my thought on that. If you have on offense, if you have the tush push and you're allowed to have the guys behind the quarterback push forward with everything they have to push the quarterback or whoever's got the ball across the first down line, goal line, whatever, and that's legal, then let me ask this question to each and every one of you out there real quick. Let me ask you this question. If it's legal to do that on offense, why is it not legal to do that on a field goal? Now remember, they've banned the fact that you cannot, rush over the center when he's hiking the ball back for a field goal. You can't do it. Why not? You're charging forward. You're trying to get that push backwards, but it's okay to do it on offense when you're pushing the quarterback forward, who the defense is then trying to hit the quarterback with everything they have, or the center, I should say, trying to hit the center with everything they have to push everything backward. Why can't you do that on a field goal attempt? So the NFL really frustrates me because they're like a double standard. Oh, you could do it on offense because we like offense because it creates a lot of chances for points. Why can't you do it on defense? Or special teams? Why can't you do it? If you could do it on offense and have the guys all pushing, why can't you do that on special teams? Have some of the guys in the back push against the center and then jump up and try and block the field goal. Why is that illegal? I'm just asking, guys, why is that illegal? The double standard of the NFL is frustrating. I go back to the very first topic that I stayed on, the jackass of the week with Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter and all that whole money thing. You want to anybody that didn't hear that, go back to the beginning of the show. You'll hear all about that. Okay. Why is the NFL, and I know that was baseball, but the NFL is doing it too. Why is the NFL allowing advertisement and promoting DraftKings, MGM betting, sports books, but you can't bet? The NFL players cannot bet. Now, Major League Baseball, they can bet. Players can bet on any other sport, just not baseball. NFL says no. If you're in the vicinity, you're on the grounds, you're involved in anything to do with the NFL team you're on, you cannot bet, period. Even if you're away from the building. Okay? So if that's it, so if the NFL says you can't do it, oh, but by the way, we're going to promote MGM, we're going to promote DraftKings, we're going to do all these sports betting books, but NFL players can't do it. Double standard. So if it's a double standard on that, they got a double standard on the tush push, and now, but you can't do it on special teams. I don't understand. I don't get some of these ridiculous rules. I mean, the tush push is okay, whatever. You didn't want to do it, fine, have all at it. Put 450-pound guys back there and just push the heck out of the guy. Do I like that? No, I think it's kind of cheesy. I think it's kind of cheating in a way. You got all these guys because you can't do it on special teams. That's my point. I don't get it. Okay. Let's see. Muhammad Badri says, but Douglas, you are off the chain. I would have to agree. Kamani Dixon responding to my rant and rave. It says, calm down, Bill. That's life with the NFL. I know. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with double standards. I'm sorry. I don't. I think there should be an equal side. You should not be able to have this on one side and this not on the other side. I don't like it. I don't. Now I know the NFL's making bank on all the sports betting and stuff. They got to have their hand in the cookie jar. You know they do. You know they do. But at the same time, they're not allowing their players to bet on other sports. I mean, I know they can if they're way off the premises. They're not involved. It's the off season, whatever. I don't know all the ramifications and the rules. I just know that they can't do it when they're anywhere near the facilities or anything like that. They can't even have anybody else make a bet for them. That takes me back to the Shohei Ohtani. Okay? Like I said, you guys want to find out what that was all about? Go back to the very beginning of the show. That was the very first topic, the jackass of the week. Okay. All right. I need to take a deep breath. And thanks each and every one of you for being in the chat. Those of you also watching elsewhere, like I mentioned earlier, thank you so very much for being in, watching wherever you may be. Thanks to your busy days and weeks that you guys have had for taking the hour and 16 plus minutes out of your busy Friday. I really do appreciate it. Thanks once again to each and every one of you in the chat. Let me go down the list real quick. Avatar batted leadoff, followed by Big E Bronco. The Mundungus Creevy jumped in and has stayed in, which is great. Fantastic. D-Rock in the house. Love it. Always appreciate it. Glenn Hauser jumped in. Thank you so much, Glenn. Appreciate it. Going on down the list. Clayton Haran, thank you so much for being in there and for your comments, your positive comments. Really do appreciate it. Let's see. Real quick, Clayton says, talking about the show, great way to top off a hard day of removing snow for 14 hours, 6 inches in about 10 hours. Wow. Holy smokes, Clayton. Well, thank you so much for taking time out for shoveling, because I know that can't be fun. Holy smokes. Well, I won't tell you what I shoveled today. All I shoveled was a little bit of sunshine off the old dome. Just shovel a little bit of sunshine off the dome. So, Clayton, sorry to hear that, man. I hope you're safe and do well, man. Just stay safe out there, huh? All right, going down the list again, guys, for being in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Each and every one of you, like always. Young Tyrone, thank you so much again for being in the chat. First time I've seen you. Really do appreciate it. Hope it's not one and done, I should say. Hope you come back again next Friday for the show. Rudy, my brother-in-law, thank you so much. Bobby, my nephew, thank you so much for being in the chat and your comments. Really do appreciate it. Let's see. Going on down, anybody else? Kamani Dixon, thank you so much. Jumping in late. That's always good. Always do appreciate it. Like I said, each and every one of you, it's always wonderful to see the names pop up and the interaction that happens each and every Friday. You guys are the best. I've said it to you many, many times. You are the backbone of the show. And without you guys, I'd be talking to a brick wall, and that would not be as enjoyable, nowhere near as enjoyable as it is talking to each one of you, your personalities, your comments, your takes. Your harassment of me is fine. I can deal with it. It's okay, whomever it is. It's totally okay. Really do appreciate it. You guys are one of the best out there. Really do appreciate it. Have a wonderful, fantastic Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Until next Friday, we got shows all next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. My show live once again, 5, 6, 7, and 8. On the MHRT Network / Broncos Breakdown channel on YouTube. Thank you so very much, guys. Once again, have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. We will talk to you next Friday. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Fast lane when I pass in the street. Bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast's racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.